Hello, House Hero Clan and Wham Fam, and welcome to Real Estate Market Update for weeks of October 16th to October 23rd. We're going to go over the market as we see it. We're going to go over the different counties, all the numbers for those different counties here in Southern California, as well as the news. And there's just not enough news that keeps coming in on a daily basis. It's actually exploding every time. It's crazy. So Ryan, tell us, man. You know, I know that it's been just a crazy week for you and me. You know, it's hard to actually comb through all the news. Tell us some of the good news out there.
Yeah. So let me jump right into it. Well, give me a second to get to the good news. Here's some of the crazy news, because these are the emails you've been sending me when you're trying to vent. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I can't even get an offer accepted type stuff. So here's one you sent me the other day.
Yeah.
And this was the response. So you're following up on one of your offers, and you're asking, when does the seller plan to make a decision? And their response to you was, hello, we received over 80 offers, and seller cut them down to conventional with the highest down payment. So unfortunately, if your offer was FHA, you're not going to be hearing from us.
Yeah.
So
that was a backhand.
I was, like, don't waste your time. That is an agent who completely underpriced that property. I mean, fielding 80 offers, that's insane. That's not what you want to be doing. You're breaking hearts, you're upsetting people, and you're wasting everybody's time, So
there was a line outside that property. When we showed it, there was a 6-person line outside, and it was pretty cool because the agents were basically understanding that it's taking, if we all take 15 minutes, that means that line is an hour and a half line. But I think we all had that idea after seeing that line, and as it kept growing, we told our clients, hey, this is something that you're going to have to be coming in 20, 30, 40, 50,000 over list. This was listed at 330. So be prepared to do that. If you're not, this is just a whimsical run through the house. Yeah. Take a look at it, and let's get out and go on to the next one.
Exactly. No doubt about it. And here's another one you got back. So it's
this one's crazy.
Offer on blank. I just whited it out in Corona. There were a total of 35 offers on this home, and the sellers have sent out seller multiple counter offers. Unfortunately, yours was not selected to receive a counter. Mm-hmm. However, you are more than welcome to resubmit. The deadline for response is going to be tomorrow at 5. If you resubmit your offer, it will be considered along with any other responses we receive.
So before you actually read all that, Ryan, let me give you the background. This house was listed for $600,000 in a very, very prestigious area of Corona. It's in the Corona Norco School District. It's right in the middle. There's 9s and 10 schools everywhere around this property. And so we went in, we took a look at it. We actually offered $10,000 over ask, $610,000. Now you can go, and this is what the response
was.
So
basically, sales price to be $650. What's the most recent comp in the area?
I mean, literally, it's like $630, $640. But you see, it's just literally they're building blocks, right? It's a ladder, just laddering up, right? And then it's a very, again, a high school district.
Yep. And this is where you need to be, these terms with all offers. So no appraisal contingency. I don't think I've had an offer accepted with an appraisal contingency in a month plus. So you have to basically be, waiving your appraisal contingency. Property sold as is, no repairs. Inspection contingencies to be removed in 10 days, and loan contingency, if applicable, will be removed in 15 days. Seller's choice of services, title and escrow. Good faith deposit will be 2%. Or amount listed in RPA, whichever is greater. Most of them that I've seen now are 3%.
Go back, Ryan. Let's reread that one part that said loan contingency if applicable.
Yeah, which means they've got cash offers.
Exactly,
and that's what they're looking for.
And literally that's basically the nail in the coffin for everybody who has an offer that's has a loan.
Well, and I'm surprised. Inspection contingencies, a lot of the ones I've just been writing 5 days. I mean, let's get in there and figure it out fast, because even if it's we don't want to drag our feet, because if it's not going to work for us, we want to go back out in the market and look for something else. I don't want to be wasting our time with the market, gaining in price so fast. If it's not going to work for my buyers, I want to be back out on the streets. So buyer to pay $100 per day per diem should the buyer fail to close on time. It's built right into the offer. Hey, if you're going to be late, they want to charge you for it. And they're talking about close of escrow date, and the sellers are going to rent back for 60 days after the close of escrow for the sum of $1.
Right.
So basically, they're going to live in your house for 2 months for free.
And you're paying while you're paying your mortgage.
Yeah, but they're going to give you the washer, dryer, and fridge. So that's very nice of them. Inspection, CR at 10 days. So basically, we already talked about that. It's redundant. Loan, blah, blah, blah. That's actually contradicts itself, but whatever.
Yeah.
So long story short, it's a seller's market, and they're going to get all of their terms and everything that benefits them in their offer. So really, that's what you guys need to be able to expect out there. Things are not going for the last closed comp. They're going for above that. And, we talked about it a little bit earlier. We'll probably do a video on it, but there's different ways to buy things out there. Like if you buy a car, for example, you can go into a traditional dealer and there's a list price and you're not paying that. You're going to be paying under that. That is not this market. This is more like walking in and, it's, if you're looking at new homes, it's more like a Tesla. You walk in, here's a price, $69,420. You can buy that Tesla. It's a new home builder, but you got to be on the list and you got to wait till the next one's released for you, and those prices are going up as each phase release goes. And then every other home, it's more like an auction format. It's like going to Barrett Jackson's, auto auction. It's like going to Meckham auto auction. Hey, there's a starting bid price. That's $600,000. They know it's not going to sell for $600,000. The seller's not even going to look at that $600,000 offer. It's going for $630,000, $640,000, $650,000. It's an auction. Whatever you see in that MLS, that's just an arbitrary number. Don't think of it as a list price. Don't think like you're paying above list. Know that you're paying at or above the appraised value. That's where things are going right now. So,
right.
We're seeing it. It's still strong rolling into these winter months.
Those were a couple of love letters that were sent back to me from my clients who put offers that were over asking on both of them, and both of them didn't even get any response.
So, as far as good news goes, this is good news for the industry as a whole. So if you're a homeowner now, it's fantastic. If you're looking to buy, it still is fantastic for you as well. There's no bottom dropping out from anything we're looking at. And some of the negative stuff people were worried about, you saw oh my God, everything's on fire. The house is on fire. The whole, sky is falling stuff, at the beginning of the COVID pandemic. And here's where the numbers are starting to fall out. So numbers of seriously delinquent mortgages falls for the first time since the pandemic hit. So people that were 90 days delinquent, that were about to go into foreclosure, those numbers have been falling for the first time since the pandemic hit. And what's interesting, foreclosure starts nationwide. I mean, hundreds of millions of homes here. Only 4,500 foreclosure starts were reported for September. I mean, it's a drop in the bucket. It's absolutely, considered nothing in my eyes. And only 2.3 million homeowners remain 90 or more days past due, but are not in foreclosure. So you got to remember, these lenders are trying to work these homes out. So we talk about this all the time. Just because you see they're in default doesn't mean that they're not working on getting out of that. And the forbearance rate falls to the lowest level since mid-April at just shy of 6%. It basically dropped about 0.5% month to month. So that's solid. That means people are getting workouts. They don't need a forbearance. They're able to get out of it on their own. So that's another solid number, just showing that, hey, there's not going to be a huge, wave of foreclosures rolling through. This is not 2007 and 8. We're not going to see the same outcome from the housing crisis, which caused, the economy to falter. And so here you go. Existing home sales surged 9.4% in September, and that's month over month. So 71% of homes sold. Think about 3/4 nationwide. That's slow markets, that's hot markets. 71% of homes sold in September were on the market for less than a month, which is what we're seeing out there for sure with our own eyes.
Yeah.
And then in California, we just had the biggest jump in price in 6 years. So year over year pricing gain was 17.6% statewide. That's nuts, especially when you go back a year ago. Everybody says, recession 2020. I had people tell me, we're going to wait. We're going to wait till things slow down next year. We think foreclosures are going to pick up next year. No, prices went up 17.6% on you for waiting. And you burned rent money waiting that entire year.
Well, first of all, that's 12 easy payments if you own a house.
Yep.
Right? That's 12 easy payments. Number two, the times that we live in during this craziness in the housing market, we live with a pandemic that actually is open, close. We're in a state that just can't figure it out, right? Open, close, open, close, open, close. Yeah. Then you have a political environment that is swirling, that no one knows what's happening, and it's a complete mess. And we're coming to a head next couple of weeks. Yep. Nothing is stopping this bull market just going forward on the homes. I mean, it just isn't stopping it. You know, it's this state has the highest unemployment in the United States. That isn't that again, as I can give my personal opinion about it, fake numbers. It just, that number doesn't make any difference here in the real estate market. If anyone is behind, Ryan, I've said this 100 times, sell your home and collect all the money in equity, right? Because the next buyer out there, the millennial buyer out there, they're dying and itching to get it. If we look back at those 2 emails that were sent to me, I have one with 80 offers. There is only one person can buy that home. 79 other people, other buyer groups are out there looking that, you know, so they have to go find homes. They want to go find homes. That was in the Moreno Valley area, you know, Moreno Valley, Paris area. And then if we look at Corona, you're talking the 600 to 650. You're talking jumbo loans, right? You're talking the higher end loans. You had 35 people put down at least 600,000 and only one. So 34 are out there looking for homes in that kind of price range. That is insanity. I mean, that's where we're at with the market. Wealth is here, and it is solid in Southern California.
Absolutely. And the median price point, you know, jumped to over 700 for the first time ever. There was a 20% year gain year over year in the number of homes sold, which was nuts. Fastest pace since February of 2009.
Yeah, when anyone could get a loan.
So where are we headed now? Right. So we talked about what was kind of holding us back when we were worried about delinquencies. We showed that it didn't hold us back and how it's been on fire. Where are things going? Well, mortgage rates hit another record low this week. I don't know. Like, I want to refi the refi from 2 months ago at this point, you know. You're at 2.8 for a 30-year fixed. Yeah. And that's via Freddie Mac. And a 15-year mortgage is 2.33. So, you know, they're shaving off, you know, fractions of points, but it's just still headed lower. And the Mortgage Bankers Association is expecting 2021 to have record purchase volume and originations. And they're determining that on people that are already applying, that are going to be looking at purchasing into next year. So everything seems to be on fire. We've got a steady flow of demand rolling right into next year. And that's why we've seen things like this. CoreLogic is expecting the smallest gain next year, but you have to remember 3 months ago, they were saying that there was going to be a 5.5% drop. Depreciation in value next year. They've upped their estimate 6%. Like, it's just like, well, everybody else is going that way and we're going that way. And what's actually wild is they've had a lot of turmoil in the company as a whole, and turnover and stuff. And so there was just a lack of guidance there from top to bottom, it sounds like, from what I've been reading. But Zillow, they've been pumping theirs up a little bit. They're expecting a 7% gain next year. And yeah, there's Freddie Mac, even 5.5%. Freddie Mac, you know, a government-sponsored entity, it's in conservatorship by the U.S. government. They're expecting 5.5%. NAR, you'd think us agents, we all, you know, that's National Association of Realtors. You think we people like, oh, it's going to be crazy next year. It's going to be high. But we're right in the middle right there. So, and the Mortgage Bankers Association's at 3.4. So I find it interesting that the federal government thinks it's going to be a better year than the trade organizations out there that you would think would be naturally, you know, giving you the good numbers. And so, yeah, you'd think Freddie Mac would be a little more conservative. And what's interesting is you got to remember that the Fed is buying up mortgage-backed securities, just gobbling them up. And we now know, you know who your partner is on that house you just bought? It's really the federal government. They want to make sure that you win as well and you're not getting foreclosed on, because they're going to be the ones taking the hit, the Federal Reserve. So we kind of feel right now that the government's in it for you to win it as a homeowner. And we expect them to do everything they can to keep home ownership and housing solid. So if you guys are still looking at getting into a home, please reach out to us. We'll get you over one of our free home buying guides. We can, you know, go in a little more depth in the areas you're looking. You know, some of these markets, you know, especially as we get fall, there are some opportunities to get stuff without being crazy into bidding wars. Had 3 offers accepted on Monday. 2 of them told me we weren't even the highest offer. They went with us just because we wrote the offer strong. So, you know, people are, buyers out there they're successful. So you just got to get out there, you got to educate yourself, get up to speed, and get with a solid agent who can help you out. So all right, we went over this number a couple seconds ago on our deal of the week, but break it down for us really quick, Troy.
So again, we're bouncing off the bottom. We're skimming like a rock on a lake, right? You throw that little rock, skim. We're just skimming off the bottom there. 141 foreclosures. Really, it's literally less than that. It's 0.00001. It's a fraction of 1%. We're not seeing any kind of great growth here. We're just seeing homes that are sitting there with permit issues all over the place that the flipper, the inexperienced flipper, just got crushed on. So there's just not enough homes out there, in the foreclosure market. That's why we keep bringing that up as you start hearing that a little bit, out there in the national media. The national media they're just digging for negative news items. And we're just not seeing it here in Southern California, at all, or even across the United States. So let's go right into the numbers here, Ryan. LA County, Orange County, San Bernardino, Riverside counties. We're going to kind of give what's going on here. I think we're having a little bit of a lender fatigue. I think that's the best way of putting it. Lenders just are not handling the volume, and it absolutely. Besides that, there's not enough inventory. You have lender fatigue. It's hurting the amount of homes that are closing on time. I think there's so many that's gone over, and that's kind of showing here up in the numbers here.
Yep.
Los Angeles, if you kind of look at it, it's kind of steady on the actives. The pendings are always beating the actives every single week. And then the last couple of weeks, we've seen this drop a little bit in solds. And again, I'm seeing in my closings are anywhere from 7 to 21 days past the closing table, the time we were supposed to close of escrow. It's getting ridiculous. And I think this is what happened. The volumes in July and August have hit, and they have not been able to act properly, or pivot properly. And, these lenders are just got crushed, and they're not being able to close. And they're, imagine, you're out there, you're looking for a home, and you're a seller, and we just saw those seller letters, and those seller letters are all just boxing the buyer right into that little tight box, right? And if your lender can't provide you the service that you need for that moment, then you got the per diem, as we saw on the second one. He already put it up front, $100 per diem, $100 per day. If your lender can't meet those deadlines, what happens? That means you're pulling $100 out of your pocket. Or what I would do is I go to my lender and say, hey, I need a lender credit without raising my interest rates or changing my mortgage payment. You're the problem, not me. That's becoming more and more an issue as we continue down this road to the fourth quarter of 2020.
Great point. The other thing here is properties. So if you guys absolutely. Or okay, offers. Come on now, put a number market month up and say, hey, buyers on this file are a little. Of course they are. Yeah, that's all. That would have been nuts that they were putting in. Now they get to their inspection, buyer's remorse, and they're calling me and saying, buyer's still in it. Match my offer. We're in escrow for, and I say, hey, offer, price you're in for. What's the inspection? Over the have it. We'll look at it really quick. Or so if you guys there and you're a little disappointed, submit that offer. Nobody's gonna about it. For all the time I'm gonna offer and your offer. But that's set and offers.
They won't put it back active. Who wants to take all those phone calls again?
They don't want to take the phone. They don't want to, 3 clients this got that call. Sometimes that agent will call us and back up and make back put on that higher there. Don't take, not going to do any repairs, so use it. We'll use it for some pressure sometimes. A lot of times that buyer is gone, and I want to, as you're interested in offer on a property, offer at whatever price. You want to go crazy high. Section are broken. You guys are out there, definitely putting your best offer. Definitely submit it. It's a week, never a week. That offer. So
let's look at Orange County.
There we go.
And I mean, and I went back and I kind of got on my high horse about the lenders. I still feel that here in Orange County, the same thing. We're still seeing that dip, the high back at the very beginning of the month, and the end of September of closings, and then it just drops off. And again, it's all my deals that are in escrow are all just lingering. They're not closing on time, and it's just causing a clog in this massive lender wheel that's going around. So let's take a look at Riverside County. It's almost the same. I mean, the difference between Los Angeles and then Riverside, San Bernardino, and Orange is that the actives aren't there. They're nowhere close to the pendings and solds. They're still being over towered, I should say, because of the pendings and solds. I know that the national average that just came out hit an all-time low. The national average for homes on the market is 2.7 months nationally. Think about that nationally. Here in Southern California, we don't have homes hit the market in the next 60 days. We are out of inventory, and I'm out of a job, right? Or I could just stick around and wait for the lender to close in 60 to 90 days. That's the other flip side of it. But that's how you want to look at this. It's the inventory is down. New builders are 6 months out from you getting the home built and putting it in your hands, and they're becoming extremely competitive at their phase release days. So guys, get out there, get on it. We're just seeing this. We're seeing this craziness. This is the greatest market of all time. There is no ifs, no ands, or no buts about it. When we look back at this market, we're having a lot of solid buyers that have money, that put down money, that gained a lot of equity in their homes. And even if the economy switches, and we don't know who's going to win the election, and we don't know whoever wins the election, we don't know how they're going to react in the next 6 to 12 months, and how the housing market's going to react. But there's a lot of wealthy millennials out there that bought a year ago, that bought 6 months ago, have 10, 15, 20% equity in their homes, and now they can play with it. Now they can look and upgrade their houses with that money. They can actually, buy a few goodies out there, do some things, pay off all your debt, become debtless, right? There's a lot of positive that's out there, and the money is in this market, definitely.
Yep, that's a great point. And here we go with San Bernardino.
Same thing. It's the same thing. We look at it, it's a tower over the actives. It's the pendings that are towering the actives, and the solds are towering over the actives.
Yep. Solid.
All right, let's go to medium home pricing, Ryan.
Yep. Oh, there we go.
Let's go medium home pricing. What I've noticed, one thing is, since we get the high in 800,000 in Orange County, it's kind of dipped a little bit down.
Yes,
yet we're bouncing around with LA County and closing in on their high. So I think that the shortage of inventory out there is really hurting, Orange County more than it's hurting LA County, to be honest with you. And LA County, though, we're starting to see that people have money and bringing money in on it. That's one thing. You're seeing a steady increase in Riverside County. Look at that, just a nice steady lineup, and kind of same as San Bernardino. We're just approaching. I mean, I kind of laughed because last week was the first time that San Bernardino County hit 400,000 for medium home price. That's insanity, right? I mean, what was it, a year and a half ago? We were in the mid threes or low threes. Now we're bouncing off the ceiling at 400,000. And again, if we look at Riverside County, we're at 450. We're 450, and we're just sticking right around there. Again, these are closing at all-time highs. of medium home prices. I know that you had mentioned earlier, Ryan, that Southern California as a whole has now for the first time gone over $700,000. Wow. Imagine living in an area that the medium home price is $700,000. And that's an enormous area.
That's huge.
Right? It's
area.
5 counties. We're counting San Diego County as well.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us here Friday
afternoon.
Weekly market update. We will be back live Tuesday. We'll be covering the 5 things that you need to look at when you walk through a home. We're going to be covering the last of those 5, and that is going to be the foundation. All of the other 4 are on YouTube, so go on there, subscribe, and check it out. You'll get notified of any future releases. If you haven't already subscribed to our Facebook channel at Los House Heroes, please do. And if you know anybody that's looking for a home or thinking about looking for a home or has questions about housing, please go ahead and share this with them. And we would definitely appreciate that, so they can be brought into this educational landscape. So other than that, hope everybody's doing well, and we'll see you soon. Peace and take care.
Stay safe.